Hey, 42 here. The 30th US President, Calvin Coolidge, liked to have his head rubbed with petroleum jelly whilst eating his breakfast, and Abraham Lincoln was also a licensed bartender. But how do you become President of the United States? There are only 3 official prerequisites to becoming president. You must have been born in the United States of America, you must have lived in America for 14 years, and you must be at least 35 years of age. But even if you fit all 3 of these requirements, there are a bunch of unofficial rules to become president, such as be male. There has never been a female president of the US. Don't have a serious criminal record. George W. Bush had a DUI conviction in 1976, but do you really think people are going to vote for you if you're an armed robber? Don't be fat. There have only been 5 presidents who were technically obese. The largest of these was 27th President William Howard Taft, who weighed in at 335 pounds. But since the days of TV, there hasn't been a single obese president. Be straight. The US public has never elected an openly gay president. The president with the strongest evidence of being homosexual was 15th President James Buchanan. Be a devout Christian. 76% of Americans are Christians, and 92% believe in a higher power. So don't think you're getting in if you're an atheist or any other religion. Be tall and handsome. In approximately 75% of elections, the taller and better looking candidate wins. You're not allowed to sweat or make the American public aware that you have any normal bodily functions whatsoever. During the infamous 1960 Kennedy vs. Nixon debates, Kennedy was a natural on camera, whereas a more timid Nixon, having just come off the flu, started to sweat profusely under the hot studio lights. Kennedy later won the vote, 49.7% to 49.5%. Polls revealed that more than half of all voters had been influenced by the debates. And finally, don't claim to have invented the internet. In 2000, Al Gore lost the presidential election, partially because, whilst ticking off a list of accomplishments, he let slip, "During my service in the United States Congress, I took initiative in creating the internet." So what's the lesson here? If you want to be president, never say anything which can be taken out of context or is just plain wrong. Sadly, if you don't fit all of these criteria, the US public are unlikely to vote for you. So, you're a straight, law-abiding, thin, tall, handsome, male American Christian. What next? Well, it also helps to be wealthy, charismatic, confident, an exemplary public speaker, have impeccable body language, an Ivy League education, lots and lots of wealthy friends in powerful places, European ancestry, a wife and kids, strong debating skills, and a clear perspective on all current issues. Providing you tick all the boxes, how do you start your presidential campaign? The first step is to secure a good job in US politics or the military. In the last 70 years, every major party presidential nominee has either been a sitting or former US senator, governor, vice president, or 5-star general. Second, you need to form an exploratory committee. The purpose of this committee is to test the waters, raise money for your campaign, and decide if you really have what it takes to become president. This can begin up to 2 years before the election. During this time, if you receive significant interest from the media, campaign strategists, and potential donors, you can formally declare your candidacy and launch your presidential campaign. You will also need to choose a vice president candidate. The third step is campaigning. This means travelling throughout the country to gain the support of the public for your political party and candidacy. This usually involves holding rallies, participating in debates, kissing babies, wining and dining, and posing for photographs. Like most parties, you should start your campaigning in Iowa, New Hampshire, and South Carolina. because these states hold the first contests of the campaign in January before the elections, so good performance here can make or break your campaign. You will also need to spend a lot of money on advertising. Barack Obama's party spent $1.123 billion during his campaign. In the final weeks before the elections, the contenders focused their efforts on the so-called battleground states, where the electorate is more or less evenly divided, and hence the outcome is uncertain. In these key remaining states, campaign volunteers and paid staff furiously work the telephones and go door to door to win support for their party. Finally, it's time for the elections, or the popular vote. In America, this is always held on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November every 4 years. Voters from every state vote for their favourable president and vice president candidates. But voters aren't actually voting for their chosen candidate, they are actually voting for electors, who are pledged to a specific candidate and are expected to, but don't always, vote for that candidate in a second, final election. This process is known as the Electoral College. Each state has a certain number of electors in the college, based on the size of its population. In total, there are 538 electors in the Electoral College. Because of this system, a candidate can become president without winning the popular vote if the chosen electors don't vote as expected. This happened in the 2000 George W. Bush vs. Al Gore election. Congratulations, you've passed the world's hardest job interview. For all your efforts, you're now a prisoner of the White House, unable to even walk across the street without a legion of Secret Service agents and a group of aides tagging along. You will have to endure 24/7 scrutiny of your every word and action, and work 12-hour days where your schedule is planned to the minute. Don't forget the ongoing relentless assault from hostile news and media, and opposition parties dedicated to impeding your every move. Only difficult decisions will reach your desk. The easy ones are all taken care of at lower levels of your administration. And what's your reward for all this? Well, you get an annual salary of $400,000 per year, plus an annual expense, travel and entertainment account. These bonuses bring your total salary to $550,000 per year, which seems like a lot, but is actually a rather measly wage compared to your responsibilities. Most presidents could earn a lot more if they worked in the private sector. So what's the real reward for all your hardships? Well, you will go down in the history books alongside George Washington, and you get to put your personal stamp on a country of 313.9 million people, and subsequently the world. Thanks for the view, subscribe for more 42.